Happy Labor Day Monday to the U.S. peeps out here on in crypto Twitter world, and I want to actually wish a great birthday to Eric Crown. Happy birthday, bud! Hope you've had a good one. I watched your stream this morning, and it was absolutely insane. So we tried to get you to cry, but I don't know if you cried or not. But you probably cried when you got off. So hope you had a good birthday, bud. Um, Bitcoin, what's going on? This latest run to the upside is great, but I'm not completely sold yet on a breakout and getting all crazy bullish outside of this continuation. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still long term bullish, um, but near term I'm sideways to slightly lower to where I still think 9100 holds, but I wouldn't be surprised if we actually tested it again because I've been trading a little bit in this consolidation, which I don't normally do, but I've been kind of having fun with it while it's consolidating. But really, I'm just trying to take a back seat where I can lower my blood pressure and not worry about which way this thing's going, and just waiting for a breakout, either underneath 9100 to the downside or a break of this black bearish trend line to the upside. So let me go through the charts here, or the chart here, and just kind of walk through it. What I did the other day, and if you watched my previous video, I bought at 93.80, kind of on this because it dropped down into a buy zone that I was looking at, and I actually sold today on the breakout of this 9800, and it popped up, into 10,000, almost 10,004, I think, for something. Uh, so I got a nice profit there that I took the profit, and the reason that I took the profit is looking at some of these fib levels and what's going on in the internals. And what I have on here is I got the ADX and I got the RSI down here, and a couple moving averages, and these black lines are trend lines. The reason I sold today is, let's look at the fibs first before we get into the other things. But first of all, the blue Fibonacci here, you started the high here at 13,872. You drop down to the low here, right around, just under 9100. And when this move popped back up, if you look at the blue 61.8% level that's right here, it's at 12,034. It was testing here, and the trend line that started with these two lines here, this kind of confirmed this trend line, um, for a couple things. We'll look at the RSI here in a minute, but this held at the 61.8% level to keep this thing going toward the downside. Didn't come up making new highs, didn't break didn't make a new high of this one. So the bears were still in control even after this rally. And one of the reasons is, internally, when the move came from this low up to test the 61.8% level, if you look at the internals, the ADX was well under the 20 level. So there wasn't a lot of strength for trend. So as the price was moving upward, there wasn't any momentum that was being built. Uh, sort of similar to what's happening today with this, the last few days with the green candles to the upside. This ADX is going, nah, it's just not there yet. Now we do close in 30 minutes. Maybe the ADX pops up off the daily data, but right now it just doesn't look real appetizing for a nice strong trend. So that's why I sold, because I still think this thing's going to go sideways or maybe even back down a little bit lower. Not making new lows, but just lower back down to that 93, 9400 level possibility, over the next week. Could be wrong, and this is where, if this breaks the 38.2% level, which is that shallow fib that I like to see if this is going to continue the downside, that's kind of the area that I wanted to sell, and I went ahead and did that. But if I'm wrong and it breaks this 38.2% and it pops up to the 61.8% level on the red Fibonacci, here is what we're looking at now. You got that 11,183, kind of that intersection of this trend line. So as this price comes up, if it does break more to the upside, this 11,183 is a key level for me. I would like to see it break above this trend line, and of course get some momentum behind the trend. And right now there is none, to where we can break out of this consolidation. So I'm not a big fan of this move because there's just not a lot of footing behind it. So I'm not that I'm bearish. I'm just kind of saying that the consolidation can continue, and we could actually have some more buying dip opportunities coming about. Couple of other things. Uh, one thing was the ADX was really low, but what I watch for in the RSI are zones. I look for bullish and bearish zones. The dotted lines I have on here is anything under this dotted line I have right here. Anything underneath, whenever the RSI is underneath of it, that the market's in a bearish zone. So anytime the RSI was trading underneath over here, that we were in this, into this bearish trend. And it wasn't until it broke right here, put a little red arrow, it broke above the dotted line. So that right there was a signal that this thing's going from a bearish zone and possibly into a bullish zone. So when that happened, we broke, price broke above the 55 exponential moving average here, came back and kind of tested it as support. And when this came down and tested as support right here, and the RSI kept held right there and didn't come back down and to make new lows. This right here is a nice little signal that it was a flip right here in the bullish to, or the bearish to bullish zone. Then we traded at this point. Anytime it was in this zone here, we were in this nice bull run to the upside. And then once it finally broke support right at this point, I put another little red arrow there where the RSI dipped down into there. That was another inflection point, which it just kind of showed with a quick trend line that, this was an area of, I put these vertical lines on here just to show where the timing was when it broke from the bulls to the bear, or for the bears to the bulls here at this point. And then right at this point here is when we were breaking the bullish trend line to the downside. Now we didn't get all crazy bearish. We went into a more sideways market here. But ever since then, this area that we look back in history is the area to watch for the bears. So anytime it's below this level, the bears are in control. And as you can see, even though the prices went up, it's nowhere near crossing from the bearish zone and into the bullish zone. So not that it's strong bullish or bearish because the ADX is really low, so there's not a lot of trend for the bears, but the bears are still somewhat in control when it comes to the pattern. So I see more consolidation all the way to the apex of that 9100 low and then the black bearish trend line. So the intersection of these two, this whole area in here is a possibility of being tested. So I sold. We'll see if it goes sideways. I'm really wanting to see a break of this trend line and a bust to the upside with some momentum behind it for me to get all more positions on and add to my longs. Right now I'm just kind of trying to trade it back and forth. I got my trade in today. Made a little bit of a profit, not great, but I'll take that little run over the last 3 days, and we'll move from there. So for now, I'm not adding new positions until we break this black trend line to the upside. Or if we break this 9100 to the downside, I'll be waiting for about 7300. And I talked about that in my other video. So I know it's late on a Monday here, but it's and I'm rambling. So, but if you have any questions, comments, concerns, what's going on, if you want to see some additional charts, just let me know. I'm just kind of letting you know what I'm looking at. Now, again, this is just support and resistance levels, hence the title of my show, support and resistance. So you take what I have, look at some others out there. There's some really good TA guys that are out there, and see what they're looking at. But make your own decisions when it comes to getting in and out of the market. But I'm just kind of showing you where my support and resistance is and what I'm looking at. So if this helps, let me know. Hit the like button. Subscribe. That'd be awesome, and that would kind of help me out a little bit. All right. Everybody have a good evening here, and we'll see what Bitcoin has in store for us the next few days. All right. Happy trading, and peace out.